Alrighty. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everybody. All right, so what I wanted to do actually was to start a new plan here with you guys. And we had a whole list of quite a few people who had volunteered for me to do group audits. So, what I was thinking is, hey, Alex. So, what I'm going to do is, we had a lot of people who had volunteered for me to do group audits for them. So, what I'd like to do is daily to start doing the live group audits here for everyone. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up a Google Doc so that way you guys can all put your group links in, your information, and all that, so that I have that, and then we'll go live here in the morning to do those audits, and you'll have those recordings to go ahead and to use those to to make some adjustments to your group or get your group up and going if you've just started it. So, Alex, do you have a group already that we can take a look at today? I was hoping for a volunteer, somebody who's on live. So if you want to volunteer, that'd be awesome. If not, I'll go ahead and put myself on the chopping block here and be the guinea pig. Hey, April. So what I was just saying is that a while back I had asked everyone if they wanted to volunteer for me to do group audits. And I was actually going to do those individually with people, but I thought it might be nicer, hey Kenny, if we actually did group audits live. So I was hoping that I could get somebody to volunteer for me to take a group look at their group here live this morning. If one of you guys want me to take a peek and give you some suggestions, I can do that. Or what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll put myself on the chopping block, because this group itself here, we just created this to to help you guys out. So I have plenty of things that we haven't even set up here, so I can go ahead and to use myself as a guinea pig for you guys and show you exactly what some things are that need to be taken care of. So I guess I'll do that because I was a little bit late with asking you guys for a live volunteer. So what I'm going to do is today I'll use myself as the guinea pig here with this group, because it's brand new and we just got it started for you guys, to show you what things I haven't done and what still needs to be done. And then later today, what I'll do is I'll give you guys a Google link so you can all, anybody sign up, you'll just give me your name, your group link, what your group is about, and then I'll start doing live audits for you guys so we can really dig into your groups. All right, so first things first. This is going to be fun. I'll put myself on the chopping block here since this group is brand new. Let's see. Let's go into the details of the group itself, and we'll take a look. All right. So let's see. First things first, we had talked about the name of your group, and then you want it to be something that's specifically related to what your audience is looking for. We were talking about free groups. So the big thing that we had said with free groups is you just want to make sure that your name of your group is related to the terms that people are searching, when they're looking for something related to that niche. When it comes to paid groups, that's when you can use something related to your brand and unique names and all that. But for basic free groups, you want to make sure that you're using the terms that people are searching. So that's why here, I would have loved to put Facebook group, but that's proprietary. So I put FB group, because oftentimes people are looking, hey, how do I get my group started? What do I need to do? So I tried to think of, what are the terms that people are searching. So that's one thing I did all right with here. I made to do the social learning because, like I told you guys, you always want to have the learning units in your group, and to be using that as basically like a yellow brick road to take people in your free group from just being members to being paid customers. Oh, I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. That's my son playing dinosaurs downstairs. So one thing to remember too that I didn't even mention to you guys is when you set your group as social learning, make sure you click this little tab here that says discussion, because you don't want your group to go straight to the units. When someone comes in, you want them to go right to the discussion. And if you don't click this, it will automatically go to units. So that's one little thing just to remember. All right, so the description of your group. This is something that I need to update. You know, basically what I did here was I had just taken a post that I had put out, you know, regarding, you know, why people would need to come to this group and what would be helpful. But this is something that definitely needs to be updated and for me to be a little bit more clear and concise. Like I was telling you guys, for the description of the group, you know, people can really only read these first couple lines without clicking when they're previewing your group. So you want to really just have, you know, one good meaty sentence of exactly what your group is all about. You can have other good stuff below that, but you want to make sure, you know, these first couple lines that they're going to see, that it's super concise as far as, you know, what benefit the group would be to them. You know, so obviously I've got a few things I need to tweak here. So tags, you can use up to 5 tags for your group. So, you know, I'm only using 1 right now, so it would definitely benefit me to have more. What I would recommend that you do is to go over to BuzzSumo and to take a look, you know, search your niche, the keywords for your niche, and see what other you know, synonyms and commonly searched terms come up in BuzzSumo, and you'll also do that in Facebook here, and see what the most popular topics are that come up, because you've only got 5. So, you know, you really want to use those wisely. And these tags are pretty much things that help you with organic searches. So that can be super helpful. I've actually, I know a couple people who have free groups that took off just based on the tags alone and getting into the algorithm and the group being, you know, presented to a lot of people. So using these tags wisely, obviously that's not something I'm doing because I'm not using all 5. So, you know, I definitely recommend, you know, taking, you know, 15, 20 minutes and searching your key terms here in Facebook and searching your key terms in BuzzSumo to see what else you come up with, so you can use all 5 of those and use them wisely. All right, so let's see. So one of the things I did is I did link this to my page. I know people go back and forth as to, you know, whether they think it decreases reach. I haven't personally experienced that myself, but if you want to be cautious and not link it to the specific page, you know, that correlates with your group, that's perfectly fine. The address for your group, that's one thing I got right here, is I made sure to do this, this custom URL for my group. That's super important for you guys to do. Hey, how are you? If you haven't done this, I'd recommend you do it right away. Like we were talking about the other day, with the URL for your group, you want to customize that right away and make sure it's, you know, it's super concise, because the idea here is that you want to be able to use that URL on your profile and other places online. I mean, there are 20 or 30 different places, you know, on Facebook alone that you can put this link so people stumble upon it when they're reading on your page and, you know, digging into your profile and all that. But I also find that people like to recommend groups by word of mouth. So if someone just said, you know, like when someone says the ClickFunnels group, or saying, you know, group owner secrets, if you typed that in, then this is going to come up. So that's the whole point. Don't, you know, follow the lead of some people that have super long URLs for their group. Just make it as short as you possibly can, because people, you know, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna recommend it, your group, by word of mouth. And even sometimes when they're trying to recommend it to others, you know, they might get this portion wrong. So you want to just make sure that it's super easy to remember. Let's see. So like I mentioned previously. I have made this group public, and I'd recommend anyone else that has a free group that they're just starting that they do the same. You basically want to keep it public until you have at least a couple hundred members, and then you'll shift it over to private. And I know a lot of people like to recommend the opposite, but what I've seen and what I've experienced is that people really like to preview your group and make sure that there's value in there before they join, when your group is small, because the size of the group is kind of like the social proof. So once your group is at least a couple hundred people, then, people feel confident, hey, a bunch of other people like it here, then they don't feel like they necessarily have to preview it. But if you're just starting, hey, Rachel, if you're just starting, making it public is really the way to go to let members kind of see what's happening without having to commit to actually coming in your group. All right, let's see. So some of these things I haven't added on here. I know that other groups are starting to use these, like there are rooms, and some of the bigger groups are allowing people to do these and to connect on specific topics. As far as a free group goes, one that's new that you've just started, I really wouldn't play around with any of these things like the rooms, the jobs, or the mentorship. That's going to get you in the weeds if you're just getting started. Let's see. I'm not sure if we discussed some of these things here, but it's pretty intuitive as far as not making it so that anyone in the group can approve members. Like we talked about before, you want to be using group funnels or group convert or any of those things to track the information of the members as they come into your group. And the only way to do that is if only admins and moderators can approve people into the group. Private but visible. Let me see. So right, you can Mary, you can shift your group to private after you have a certain amount of people, even if your threshold is like a couple hundred. You want to make it private but visible. You don't want to make it secret. So if it was secret, it would mean that if someone was searching for it, it wouldn't come up. So basically what you're doing is like, say you're at 0 and then you get, and you're on public. Once you get to like 500, then you would switch it to private. So that means when people search it, it will come up in the list in Facebook, but it just means that they can't peek at the content in the group if it's private. So like if it's public, like say someone invited you to a group that was public right now, you'd actually be able to read all the posts that are in the group without actually becoming a member. You just wouldn't be able to comment on them. That's the only real difference. All right, so yeah, so you only want admins and moderators to approve membership, and like I mentioned, it's totally fine even if people aren't giving you their emails, you're still going to get their Facebook ID when you're using group funnels or group convert or any one of those. So you'll have their Facebook ID, and you can run super economical retargeting ads using that information. Let's see. I strongly recommend not allowing pages to join your group. You want people to be interacting and contributing. So I always click don't allow pages. And I know even like in the ClickFunnels group, we had issues with that, and we had to shift that because people were joining as pages. You're bound to get a lot more spam. You're going to get people not engaging, and you don't really want people to be able to hide behind a page. So I always select don't allow pages. The only exception to that would be like if, say you had like a local, chamber of commerce group or something like that, and it was local businesses that were joining or something. But that's like really one of the few exceptions that I can see. Obviously, you want all the members of your group to be able to post whenever they like. Yeah, Group Convert is an extension. That's not the one that I use. I use Group Funnels, but I can find you like a list. I know there's a couple different out there, but I've been using Group Funnels and for a long time, and that's the one that we use for ClickFunnels too. Let's see, post approval. I like to make sure that everyone can post whenever they like, but I mentioned to you guys previously, this is something that you can put on, like say it's, whatever, if it's Christmas or a holiday or you're going away for a bit and you think your group might get a little rowdy, you can always pop this on and off just to make sure things don't get out of hand in your group while you're gone, and then it gives you the liberty to go ahead and approve posts whenever it's convenient for you. And then I did a pretty good job here with the keywords. I mean, I certainly can see a few more that I could add, but the ones that I had mentioned to you guys previously, we have here the basic ones for, making sure that your team names are there, keywords like help, support, admin, mod, moderator, things like that, to make sure when everyone needs help that basically you and your team are going to get an alert. And then we do things, to make sure if people are being promo-y, that we get notifications. So we've got .com, .net, .io, HTTPS. Whenever someone posts a link, a website, a funnel in the group, it gives us an alert, so that way we can check it and make sure that it's not a promo. And then, of course, we have some of the negative words, so that way if someone's upset about anything, we can go ahead and help them. Other things that, we do in some of the bigger groups, like the ClickFunnels group is 250,000 people. So if we have misbehaving members or anything like that, we will add their name to the keyword alerts. And there are no limits to this, so you really can use as many as you want. I really encourage you to be crafty with this, because if you do this carefully, it can help you and make sure that you get alerts, with the specific things, that you want to be on top of. And it can be really, really helpful. So that way, as you get more and more members, you can engage with the posts that you need to. Let's see. So approving all posts. I'm not sure, Merritt, what your question is. What about approving all posts? The post approval, basically, I leave this off, which basically means that anyone can post whenever they want to post. And I only click this to turn it on, if I'm not going to be around for an extended period of time and I want to gauge, to take a look at any posts that are coming in. So clicking that would mean that none of the posts will go into your group unless you or one of your team actually approves it. So let's see. Yes, you should definitely change the URL there for your group. If that URL is gone, then go ahead and just try to pick something that's short and easy to remember, and also be careful about changing your group name. So up here at the top, changing your group name, you can only do it every so often. So this says only every 28 days. And actually, I ran into the same issue previously with my URL, because I had a couple groups where we were constantly adapting and changing and growing. So we changed the group name and the group URL. You have to be careful with that, because it'll only let you do that once a month. And then some of those things become permanent once the group is a certain size. So I'd recommend, I don't know, maybe seeing if you can come up with a URL that's as short as possible. But if people already love your name and it's something that they're used to, then you might want to try to stick with that. Okay, so let's dig in and see what else I haven't done here. So basically we're saying, this is a new group that we've just got going, and we want to make sure, I'm basically putting myself on the chopping block to see what needs to be, what still needs to be done here in this group. And then going forward, I'm going to give you guys a Google link, so that way you guys can sign up for audits, and anyone here that's on live, I'll do it. If you're shy and you prefer for me not to do yours live, I can certainly still do that. Yeah, if you're feeding someone else's group, that's bad. So that's another thing that Mayor just made me think of. Always go and check and kind of do a recon to see what other groups are out there that have similar names to yours, because you don't want to be accidentally feeding someone else's group. And I've seen that, like when the URLs are a little bit too similar, the names are a little too similar, people can be going to a group that's not yours, and that can be an issue. All right, so putting myself on the chopping block here, some things that I haven't done. I haven't created topics here for the group, so this is an important thing that helps your members when you have topics that you want them to learn, or you have frequently asked questions. Then yeah, we can take a look at your group. Just pop let's see. Oh, you already told me the name. I can go ahead and take a look here in a sec. You want to make sure that you put topics here that are relevant, frequently asked questions, or even topics that lead them down your yellow brick road that take them, from being just a member to being a buyer. All right, let's see. So, what is yours? Yours is called Powerhouse Entrepreneurs. Your group is Powerhouse Women in Business. So let me go ahead and take a look. FAQs, yes. So FAQs, what I like to do, I always like to try to put things in as many places as possible. So I like to put the FAQs in the units, but you can also put FAQs in your about section of your group, and you can put them at the bottom of your welcome post. So this is, let's see, what's happening here? All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, so I mean, like I just mentioned with the question that the mayor asked, you really want to put things in multiple places. That's one of the things that I've realized over the years is that you can't just put things in one place. So like with the FAQs, having it in the units, having it in the about section of your group, and having it on the welcome post, all super, super important. All right, so awesome. So this is Powerhouse Women in Business. Perfect. All right, so we will click join. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to join the group. All right, so the first thing here is your description. Ooh, great. Okay, actually, this is perfect. All right, so you've got all your questions. What are your business goals for the next 90 days? What are you struggling with? Drop your email, resources. Okay, so I would say it's good that you're asking for their email. I like that you're asking what they're struggling with. I'd recommend maybe changing this first question, because the whole idea is to give them some questions that are super, super simple. You want them to just have simple things that they can reply to that show that they're going to answer you and kind of get them into the group. So maybe make that something that's a little bit easier for them than what are your business goals in the next 90 days. Or if you're going to keep that, switch this one so that it's multiple choice and have it be A, B, or C, so they don't have to really think about it, and you can kind of bucket your answers into a couple different categories, because the whole idea is you don't want them to have to think too hard to answer these questions. You want it to be a no-brainer that they come into your group. All right, so I love that you customized your rules. That's fantastic, and I like that you're making this lighthearted and fun. So that's good. Give more than you take. Fantastic. Good. Actually, this is cool. I haven't seen this before. Doing one of your rules as book a call. That's kind of cool and smart to sneak that in there in the rules before they've even joined. So that's a clever thing to do. And I like that you're telling them to message you as far as if anything comes up or anything that they need. This will be fine as far as the group being small, but if the group gets bigger, you're definitely going to want to be careful and adjust that and have it go to like a help desk, or have them only send questions to your page. Because what happens, and it happens to us all the time, is that 24 hours a day, people will be sending you private messages and asking you questions and things. So it's important to make sure that any questions that you want answered in the group, that you send them to the group. So what I like to say is when someone asks me a question that could be ask me a question that could be answered in the group or that would benefit the group, I always send them over to the group, because you want as many people as possible to benefit from the questions that you're answering. Otherwise, you're going to be in your inbox all the time. All right, so let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to answer these, and then you can let me into your group, and then we'll take a look a little bit further and see what else is going on here. All right. So for anyone that missed it too, Mare did something interesting, which was in one of her group rules here, she put, book a call, which is a super, super rock star thing to do, because basically now what's happened is if someone's read through these rules and they were thinking about joining, they've already got this seed planted in their head before they've even joined the group. So that's a smart thing to do. Let's see. Yes. So if members of your group are DMing you and they're asking questions that aren't private or specific to them, awesome. Then basically you want to send them back to the group, because you want to benefit as many people as possible when you're answering those questions, and so that you don't have to answer them over and over. All right. So let's see. So we'll take a look at the about. So let's see. So you got 327 members. Awesome. Good, good, good. You've got your description for your group. All right. So this group is for ambitious entrepreneurs ready to grow their business and feel like a powerhouse, women who love to collaborate. Okay. So this is fantastic. In line with what I mentioned before, if someone was just doing a preview of the description of this group, like if they had searched in Facebook, they'd really only see these first couple lines. So I like that, you're clear and concise here with that. I love too that you've got basically how to behave in your group and all that. So that's fantastic. No, it's okay. It can be long. I mean, the one that's in the ClickFunnels group is like, it's a book. It's crazy. It's like, how to behave in the group, what the links are for all different things. It's okay if it's long, but just make sure that these first couple sentences and even like this first paragraph or two have the most important things, because what you're going to find is that most people won't read all the way through. And that's totally fine, because you really want to repeat this information in several places. So all these things are awesome, but you'll want to have this stuff in the group here too. So when it comes to the discussion for the group itself, let's see. Let's take a look. All right, so you've got your announcement. I don't know what just happened here. Oops, it keeps trying to make me post. All right, so you've got your announcement, which is great. You did your static welcome post, which is perfect. So what I would do is I would add some of those cool things that you had on the description, those things about like how to behave in the group, what the culture is, and all that. So like this welcome part, I would leave that, but just maybe edit it, and below you can have all the aspects of of behavior in the group. And then let's see. So it says introduce yourself, share your business page. Okay, so what I would do is I would maybe break this down so it's a little bit more simple. I think you could just give them one call to action. So if you want them to just share their business page, then that would probably be good. I'm not sure that you want to ask them to drop their Instagram handle and all those other things. You could basically put those as other theme posts in your group, like on a specific day of the week, be like, hey, what are your Instagram handles and things like that, and to break those out into other posts. But really, on the welcome post, just ask them to introduce themselves. You're doing a good job of motivating them by asking them to share their Facebook page link. That's a good thing, because they always want to do something that serves them. And then maybe like ask where they're from or something simple. But all these other questions are going to get them in the weeds, and they might not even respond to this because there's a lot of questions. So some of these other things, I'd break them out into theme posts, like a theme post for IG handle, a theme post of, hey, what makes you a powerhouse and makes you awesome, and other things like that. And then maybe even once a week, do the hey, what's your Facebook page link, so we can all check it out, and those of us that are interested, if we can follow it, to do that like as like a weekly theme. And then the other thing that you can do that we had mentioned before is to do that ghost video right from your page. So what you would do is you would go to your page and you would upload a welcome video. And you'd create a post by uploading, let's see, what does it say? Awesome. So, so you'd go ahead and you could upload a video here, and you have two choices. You could just do, how to get the most out of this group, or you could talk about the culture in the group, all that. But basically, you want to give them best practices to guide them through the group, what you expect out of them, the culture. You post the video here, and when you post it, there's an option on the settings. You'll click it so that it's not visible on the page. So if anybody's visiting your page, the post won't actually pop up, but you'll be able to grab the URL here and just add it at the end of your welcome post. All right, when I go back to your group, I'm gonna refresh the page so I can see what pops up here. But yeah, so putting that video, and it can be simple whether you want to be on the video or if you want to just have it show you doing a video of the group and showing people kind of how to navigate the group, then that would be awesome. Okay, so you've got, let's see, so you've got your links, what you're asking people to do, connect with me. Perfect. So this is good too. You've got calls to action and how for people to connect with you. Let's see, introduce yourself. That's a good thing. I did like before that you were asking them for the link, because you always want to motivate them with something that they feel is of benefit to them. But I like that you're leading them through the steps. You're introducing yourself. So that's all good. Yeah, so I would add the link for some sort of video, so that way you can run some retargeting from the video. And then you might want to add too a little bit of that cool stuff that you had about like the culture of the group. And you could even do the thing where in the beginning you tell them to make sure that they turn their notifications on, so they don't miss any of the cool stuff in the group. Some of the little tricks and tips that you can tell them is like to turn their notifications on so that they see all posts and they don't miss anything. They don't miss any cool bonuses or freebies. And then also say, hey, you're going to want to pin this group as one of your favorites. When they pin it as one of their favorites, they'll see it at the top of their list for all their groups, and that's really what you want. You want it to be pinned, so it's a group that they're seeing all the time, and when it's a favorite, it's going to get served to them more too in their actual feed in Facebook. So that's a good thing. So this is great. So then I love that you've got tons of comments here. It seems like you've been tagging people. It's awesome. So this is like, for everybody else, this is an awesome example of the static welcome post, where you're getting all this activity here on this static post, and then just having everyone congregate to this one place when they're coming in. So that's super, super awesome. I love that. Cool. Okay. So you've got that, and then I noticed there was one other announcement. Maybe that was the first one that we were looking at. Very, very good. I love it. Okay, so this one was the previous one you did, and this is, this one is good. Okay, so I love this. I love that you've got the links. I love that you're telling people about the culture. So the main suggestions I had for this was adding a link for a video, and have it be a ghost video for your page, like we talked about. Ask people to turn their notifications on, and you can even be a little bolder if you've got something that is having people opt into your list, or something that's even like a low ticket paid item to kind of like a tripwire to get them into your value ladder. You can even add that in here. It's totally fine to have something that's a paid offer right here, even in the welcome post. Announcements, I think they can get muddy if there's too many. I definitely noticed that. So you don't want to have more than a couple. And your top one, exactly, ghost video and turn on notifications. So your top one, obviously, you want to be this welcome one. If there's other stuff, that's fine, but I wouldn't do more than a few. Otherwise, people just really aren't going to pay attention to them. What I'd recommend is if you feel that there are important things that people need to know about, then you need to add it to the units. And it doesn't look like you have any units. So I guess that would be one of my recommendations, is to go ahead into your settings and to switch this into a social learning group. And then all these cool little tidbits you can basically add to your learning units. And I think I showed you guys, we kind of used the units as like an onboarding in the brand warfare group. And that was super, super helpful. Basically what you do is, like, when people come into your group, I have it set up so that the pin post in this particular group, because this one is a paid one, but the pin post is like an onboarding one. It says, hey, go over to the units, go to unit 1, and I give pictures. This is how to get to the units. This is where unit 1 is. To go over there and to go through all the resources that are in unit 1, and they basically tell you exactly units for onboarding. We found it super, super helpful. And basically I even told them how to get there. So that way, there's no question whatsoever. I don't like to leave anything to assumption. So I don't assume they know how to get to the units. I don't assume that they know how to figure out what's what. I even show them how to click done. And what I tell them is that they have to read all 5 posts in there, and they have to click done, and then they have to come back to this main announcement, and they have to put a GIF, so that way, I know that they've done it. So you see there's 81 comments here. Every time someone comes in and goes through this onboarding process, they come here and drop a GIF so that I know that they're done. And I'll show you what that unit itself looks like. I mean, basically, this is one of the main things that I've figured out over the past year, is that, even though people are using units, they're underutilizing it. You basically want to use it as a whole onboarding and as the yellow brick road for your people to go from member to customer to lifetime customer who's going to buy everything and anything that you've got because they love you so much. So you have to take them through this whole process so they know how to get what they need. So in unit 1 here in this group, what I did was I made a specific video telling people how to get the most out of the group. I showed them where the units are. I showed them, hey, this is how you find the post topics. I showed them everything that they needed to find. I showed them how to get any kind of support. This is where we do our live classes. I said, this is where you go for the events and see everything that we've got going on. You can get group support this way from us, how to get help with your funnels, how to get help with tech stuff, anything they could possibly need. I put it in unit 1, and then I make them confirm for me that they've actually gone through that onboarding and, make it fun and give me a cool gift and to do it that way. So that's one of the very, very first things that you can do there to make sure, because even with everything that I've done with Facebook and in their managed partner program, they talk about how when you get somebody into your group and you're welcoming them, that first couple days and even that first week that they're in your group is the most important time. So they've got their eyes on you, and that's the time to make sure they're turning notifications on. That's the time to get them on your email list if they didn't go on it. When they first answered the questions, you let them know about their culture, your community culture, welcome them, be friendly with them. And that's why I was saying there too, even being careful about the questions you're asking them and just keeping them a little bit more simple, so that way they can get comfortable and they don't have to dig too deep when they first get in. And then basically, sorry, I keep having all these things that are popping up. Once they've gotten a little more comfortable and they're not newbies anymore, then you can dig a little bit deeper on where they're at and how you can elevate them and get them up your value ladder to the next level. So kind of remembering what we talked about before with like the cycle of their membership, that they're going to be, somewhat inactive when they first come in. You want to transition them to active members and then transition them to super members. And that whole process takes a little while. So, I mean, you're doing an awesome job. I'm just saying, if you get people that are a little bit resistant, like, I mean, even if you kept stuff the way that you have it with a few of the additions we talked about, and then like if you have people that are resistant, so you've got, your 53 comments here. If you're tagging people and they're not answering, maybe that's a fun test to do, and to ask them some simpler questions and stuff to prompt responses from them, because not everybody is going to instantly, tell you everything about themselves. So, holy moly. I got to figure out a way to turn these things off when I'm doing a live. Otherwise, it's just going to go and go and go. All right. So let's just see. I'll do a few more things and then we'll hop off, because it's already, I can't believe how long it's been. We're just going and going. So I love this. You have one of your previous events. One of my recommendations would be to create a repeating event. You really only have to go live once a week in your group, but try to do it at the same time. If you can do it more, if you can do it the same time every day for even just 10 or 15 minutes, especially if you're trying to really connect with your group, then that'd be awesome. But as long as you have, start off with one time once a week, so they know that they'll be able to catch you live and interact with you and ask questions, and there's a way that they can really depend on you and see you, because the more they see you and they feel like they're, connecting with you and getting to know you, the better things are going to go with their process of becoming super members and, getting on. Oh, it says you go live on Fridays. Awesome. Yes. So make an event. You don't want that just to be an assumed thing. Go ahead, put it in here as a repeating event. And let's see, you can make it custom. So the really cool thing is when you click create event, you can go click this and click, you can click daily, you can click weekly, or you can click custom, and you can pick whatever you want. Let's say you're going to go live. Actually, you said Friday. So you could do like every Friday. And if there are different times, you can adjust it and do it however you like. But get those set up, because people really look forward to those. And actually, one little trick that I figured out with these two is that Facebook gives them a reminder to do a repeating event. All you have to do is you can click daily, weekly. Daily or weekly usually does it, or you can click custom if you don't want them all to be at the same exact time. So Mary was saying she's doing every Friday. So if some of them were going to be at 1 o'clock, but then maybe there's one at 2, she just go in and put the individual times. But a really fun hack that I figured out too when we were doing one of our events was like, we open our cart on Thursday and we open it on Friday night. So I created an event for a couple hours before the cart was closing. So the cart closes on Friday night at midnight. So I basically set an event for I think it was 9:30 or 10 o'clock to give them the details on the fact that the cart was closing, and then even to do a final watch party, from the offer and the live class and everything. And that was super cool, because it basically sent a notification to everybody that was in the group and that attended the event and let them know, hey, the cart's closing in a couple hours. And that really helped with sales, because basically when you're doing things where the cart's only open for a couple days, people often wait until the very last minute, those last couple hours to purchase. So I found this as a sneaky little way to make sure that they're getting another notification, and another way to make sure that they were watching the live offer with the stack and all that stuff. So basically, a watch party is when you put a post in your group, and Sarah, exactly. So that's another thing. Even if you had an event every day at 9 o'clock or once a week at 9 o'clock, sometimes I like to set the actual notification for earlier than the event is, not so that it's not just giving them that 5 minutes, it's giving a little bit more of a heads up to them. And I like to use that as a reminder. So for the watch party, basically what it means is that you can choose any video and basically play it in your group, and people will watch it and respond to it. So like what I do is when we have a live, like say for instance you did a live on Monday and you were selling one of your offers, maybe what you would do is you like the next day you would do a watch party, and you would host it, and you would answer any questions that people are asking while they watch it, and it's for the ones that kind of missed it. So like when we do our live events, like they'll be like, say it goes live at 10 a.m. and anybody that didn't watch it, oftentimes I'll do a watch party at 2 p.m. that day, and I'll just be on, and it'll basically be the recording from the live, but I'll be in the comments and I'll be answering questions, and I'll be helping them. It's another way to get that same content in front of them, because basically your members are all going to be in different time zones, on different schedules. Some have regular day jobs still, some have kids, all these different things. So basically, when you do the watch parties, it gives your people another opportunity to watch that material, and it allows you to not have to be the presenter and to be instead be the person who's in the comments, who's like giving them super, super good advice, or leading them down the path that you want them to be on. If there's information they need, then you give it to them, you answer their questions. So it's kind of cool because you get to be the host and be really engaged in the comments at the same time. Exactly. So you have an online challenge coming up. So that would be perfect. You're going to make an event for each day, and then also you can run a watch party later in the day when you have, I like to do it maybe 4 to 6 hours later, so that that people that weren't available during the actual live, that they'll be able to watch it, and then you can answer questions and stuff. All right, awesome. So I think we should wrap it up here because it's already been almost an hour. But some of the things that are going to pop up for you, Mayor, if you switch your group to go into the settings here and you switch this into social learning, you're going to get the units, and then you should also have the function that pops up with the post tags, which is really, really good. And then especially with your challenge coming up, one of the things that'll be helpful for you is if you switch to the units, is that you're going to get the feature in your group where it reminds people to consume your units. So that's really, really good. So here it says continue to Unit 1 resources, how and where to get help. So let's just say day 1 of your challenge, you want anybody that didn't go and to complete that to get a constant reminder to go and complete that. So that's what would happen is if you made that, Unit 1 or Unit 2, they're going to get that reminder that they haven't watched it. And like we were talking about before, Facebook has this awesome feature now where they scroll through the group and then they get to a portion where they're reminded, where it says suggested units. It tells you what units you haven't done and where you need to pick up. So basically, yes, I definitely agree. A pop-up group is a very good idea. So basically, they would see any of the places that they haven't completed it. And like for your challenge, let's just say it's 7 days. For each unit would be like a different day. Bye, Kenny. I'll talk to you later. So each unit would be a different day. And it'll remind them to consume that content, which will work out perfectly. I would definitely give it a go and do a pop-up group specifically for the challenge. It's going to give people more motivation to actually go and to consume the material. If you tell them that material is only going to be in the group during the challenge, and then basically when the challenge is over, you only give them 24 hours, and then you rinse the group. So that means you rinse all the content from the group, and you remove the people from the group. So that way they know it's not permanent and it's only available for when you're doing the challenge. That's going to motivate them to actually, make a purchase at the end of your challenge. And then you'll just be pushing them back to your free group here for anybody that goes through the challenge. You just say, okay, when the challenge is over, we'll be heading back to the main group. But that's a great way to get people motivated to purchase and to make sure that they actually consume the content while you're doing the challenge, because people love to beg. Like you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen, even with OFA, people love to beg, hey, keep this group open so I can permanently have this information. And basically they went from rinsing the groups and kicking everybody out to now everybody gets to stay in the group and the information's in there, but it's not, it doesn't motivate the people to actually consume the content that's in there, because now they feel like they have forever. So that's one of the super, super important reasons why people need to do pop-up groups for challenges and 30-day events and all that sort of stuff, because people just won't consume it if they know the group's going to be there forever. It goes, you know how we all talk about the course graveyard that we have? Well, people have group graveyards and they join all these groups and then they just don't even, use all the cool stuff that's in there. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go for today. I hope you found this helpful. I will see you tomorrow at the same exact time. Bye, guys.